Okay, now we're on mine, so feel free to repeat yourself and not have a bad thing.
I mean, this
For those,
whole thing
for those
started...
tuning in late, we're dealing with another moron on Twitter.
Should I just go through a quick sum up of it again?
Go for it.
This idiot used a hyphenated slur for white people on a discussion board, and when called on it, claimed that he had to do that because of the character count. And he had to watch how many letters he was using. So I simply took his entire comment that he posted, dropped it into the comment box, put quotation marks on it, went before it and said, this is your statement, dropped down to his. Obviously, it wasn't an issue with character count. All in the same post, under the same limitations.
Mm-hmm.
And he came fucking unglued. He is so fucking pissed that I called him out. And he's like, why are you defending white people? Why are you defending white people? I'm calling out bigotry on all sides. I don't like fucking bigots. I don't like fucking liars. And I don't like fucking hypocrites. And it's an absolutely insane, stupid mark. It's an insane, stupid comment. So the first thing that he does is start screeching about acting like a lawyer and all this other shit. Insane tirading, which kind of, not going to lie, kind of made me giggle anyways.
I mean, there is an amusement factor for this idiot, but for the most part, it's like, yeah.
But I am going to bring these comments back up on screen one more time so people can understand just how fucking low this person is, okay? I don't fucking care. This fucking person is fucking Lolo. He brings up a story which I cannot find easily to prove or disprove, and he won't tell anybody where he got this story, and claiming we're millions of white people. It's a slur for white people.
Mm-hmm.
Said to millions for legal fees. He claimed it was just for that. Again, his exact comment with stuff before and after. His exact comment. Oh, I did it because I didn't have enough characters to put in the word.
Yeah, bullshit.
Fucking liar.
Mm-hmm.
You piece of shit fucking liar. Okay? I hate liars. I didn't take any position on the racial debate that was going on this thread. I just called out a liar that was using slurs. She commented on the music to try to keep away from white people. I pointed out there's a subset that use it as a substitute for several of the more known slurs for white people so they don't get flagged. These are the types who harass me with spam telling me being albino makes me white. He's commenting to us too. And he says whites are so offended, using the slur again. It has me and my ancestors laughing. No, your ancestors are laughing at you for being fucking stupid. Like, you can't make this even funnier if you try. You can't make this funnier, or you can't make this even more funny. Learn fucking grammar, you fucking dumbass. Okay? Anyway. So I said, never said I was offended. I'm not. I just like calling out idiots, and I happen to find it very enjoyable. But I did say that it is used on me to try to strip me of my minority status as an albino, and then you literally just proved my point. This, all I did to get this response was point out that he lied. Absolutely broken up, arranged response. But lady, I don't care if you deem it to be a slur. I don't deem it to be a slur. It's been declared that multiple places. It's known that. It's talked about in minority communities as a way to get away with saying this without getting flagged. It is a slur. I could have said white trash. Also a slur.
Mm-hmm.
So I simply said, no one cares. Say what you want. But why did you lie about it? How's my reasoning a lie? Because you didn't have to do that to make it fit in the characters, which is literally what you claimed. You claimed you had to shorten it in order for it to fit in the character count on the website. But then goes, but you're albino and offended because I used the white slur instead of white. Black people, look at this shit. I'm albino, so I can't find it repugnant when people use racial slurs. Mm.
You're going to bring in allies here because you got caught? Anyway?
You lied. You said it was a lack of characters. Also, yes, albino. A minority of a minority. Stop playing your race card. Yes, native. Raised in third world conditions. Survived a defunct private school for native kids. You playing race victim and going, you are albino and offended at me saying white slur. Nope, not offended. Pointed out you're a liar. But you just acted like you're extremely racist ableist. And he did. Mm-hmm. Coward proved my point. Showed you the quick sum up. Didn't last long.
Mm-hmm.
And he's trying to tell everybody that I blocked him first, which is not true. But okay. And then this. Going against their race. I literally called out a racial slur. I did not take any position on any of the racial debate going on the entire thread. I said nothing about any of that. Which, by the way, he tried to say to Hikaru that I took the same positions as her. No, I didn't. In fact, in the private chat, I was arguing with her about some of them. No, I didn't.
No, I don't. Yeah.
More like she called you out on your lie, same as I did. That's true. That comment!
Yeah, this is like, you have no fucking clue what you're talking about, you ignorant little twit.
This is painful to look at. It's so fucking ignorant. Oh my god, the ignorance just strips off this comment.
It's weird, because you don't know what fucking albino is. You're going to lecture somebody about this stuff? You fucking idiot.
Also, what? So nobody who's in a minority group can be offended at you being racist to people who are white. So we're literally supposed to all be racist to people for being white. We're not allowed to actually think outside the box. These are the kinds of people who tell you you're sellout, you're Uncle Tom, you're all these other things because you don't agree with them. And by the way, Uncle Tom is supposed to be a black hero. He was helping rescue slaves. So the fact that they use it as a slur like that is actually really repugnant for many reasons.
Yeah.
And actually something they addressed in the Jeffersons when they kept calling Wheezy's uncle one. And he called George out on it, explained exactly what the guy was and said, but you're right, I would never call you that. So they actually addressed that in Jefferson's really beautifully, and they actually really called out misusing that term.
Oh, yeah.
And it was great episode, actually. So, yeah, those terms should not be existing and stuff. So it gets called out again. You're wrong. She's albino. She isn't black. She's native. Which is even worse. When you respond, when somebody tells you someone's race by saying that's worse, that is a slip of your racism.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care what your justification is. If you're viewing a comment from somebody as different based on their race, that's racist. No, not that she's defending a race that mass genocide to her race. Okay, please find grammar, please. Because I think what you're trying to say is now that she is defending a race that did mass genocide to her race in the past, which, so did yours.
Yeah. There are no innocents in this one.
In fact, the Barbary slave trade was coming after natives and enslaving and wiping out native tribes before the Pilgrims even got here. How do they think Samoset got sold to the people in England when the British people were not coming over here yet? Bueller.
Yeah, and it's also trying to lump all into one big heap. That's
racism by definition. Yeah. You're trying to define everybody by their race. That's literal racism.
Oh, it's like kind of tangential. Like somebody trying to start a thing with a meme. Name the country that started with the genocide of one race and the subjugation of another. I put half with the picture of some native chief and one of them's a slave. Razorfish came back, Sioux Nation, and I had to come back. Depends on which Sioux you're talking about. There's not a big homogeneous.
Okay, I missed that one. Which one are you talking about?
Well, let me see if I can pull it up here. Unfortunately, here we go.
Because I've already addressed multiple streams.
Yeah.
Razor Fist is absolutely fucking racist to natives. He absolutely is spreading falsehoods about us, and he's absolutely trying to tie all of us into something that we aren't.
Yeah.
He literally claimed that we made up our entire racial culture, our entire religion, purely for gold.
He needs educating on the subject. I'll put it that way.
No, he needs to shut his fucking mouth about the subject. I'm going to be honest. I have no patience for that man. He has no idea what the fuck he's talking about. Again, there are 3 main tribes, 7 sub-tribes, and a whole bunch of mini tribes under that. And that's after multiple Sioux tribes were wiped off the face of the earth. Mm-hmm. So what does he mean by Sioux Nation? Please enlighten that.
Exactly, yeah.
It doesn't work. And again,
here we are.
Oglala Lakota Sioux here. There's a reason those 3 words are part of the classification.
Right. Here we go.
I'll let you show yours real quick before I go to my next stage of my rant.
Okay. So someone started thinking about name the country built on the genocide of one race and enslavement of another. Yeah. Sioux Nation. When I came back with depends on which Sioux you're talking about. They weren't exactly a homogenous bunch, and it's gotten a few responses here. And very new. Like, don't forget the Aztecs, and bringing up all.
Yeah.
One guy says the Comanche.
Back up, anyways. Back up to the top there. By the way, would you please close the tab to my group, please?
Oh, sorry.
Okay, first of all, we weren't a country. We were territories.
Yeah.
By definition, by how we had the treaties and how we defined to each other. And no, we were not fucking slavers. There was not slavery in my tribe. We did not believe in it. It goes against our doctrine and to all the Sioux tribes. We did not commit slavery. Did we wipe out other tribes? Were we warriors? Was there things you could define as being genocidal in the past? Yes. Were we slavers? No. Be fucking honest.
That's Sitting Bull.
I think so. It's hard to tell when they do this shit like that.
I think that is Sitting Bull.
Who did nothing wrong.
No.
He was a good man. I mean, this shit's got to stop. Razor Fist has got like some weird, obsessive racist thing with the Sioux. He is out to try to destroy us.
I think it's
I don't fucking get it.
I think it's bad because he's from Arizona. He's got different down. He's dealing with Apache and Hopi and Navajo and all stuff. So
again,
yeah, very different.
There's been differences in those tribes. We've had things in the past, but that doesn't even explain it. Because I went through Arizona. I was well honored as a Lakota woman visiting. They treated me like.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't even explain that. Mm-hmm. He has this like obsessive axe to grind against the Sioux, which is actually really psychotic. And I've been noticing it a lot in his looking back at the stuff he said over the last like year. Everything is always the Sioux fault. It's always the Lakota. It's really insane. And like I said, he literally claimed we made up our entire ethnic background, our entire religion, just for gold, which we didn't use and didn't trade with. Mm-hmm. There's something here that's really creepy at this point. Yeah. And
I would, if this gets back to him, if this gets back to, I would still like to hold a summit with you, Razor Fist. I would still like
them to be on a summit, muted forever. No. I mean.
With Rosetta and throwing Allura and maybe and just have a meeting and talk about this and settle it and educate you on what is going on here and what happened, the actual history.
Because it's insane. It's so insane. But so let's go past this.
We can both talk about how
I called out the Barbary slave trade. Yeah. I pointed out basic stuff that you can get in Google searches in a heartbeat of explaining what albino is, how it happens to different people, that happens to all races, that's not just white hair and very, very light eyes. Some have blonde hair, blue eyes, some even have brown hair and brown eyes. Red hair is also a common mutation among albino. And that I've been told through specialists. So eyelashes and eyebrows are often pale, not always. And in fact, I've been in albino groups. I'm dealing with other albinos. There's a lot of them who will actually do makeup to try to make the eyelashes look paler to match the rest of their hair. Because they're darker for some reason. So it's a thing. And yes, the eye issue. I have had this documented with me for over 2 decades. when they finally got them to investigate why my eyes were so light sensitive.
Mhm.
I have a micro thin layer of eye color on the surface, and the iris and the pigments and all that are supposed to go way back into the eye. It's supposed to shine through your retina, go back down the eyeball, all this stuff. Mine doesn't. They did all these scans from different angles and with different machines and everything, and found that I have like a micro thin color layer, and everything underneath it is almost pure white. The retina is like this platinum blonde and barely exists, and my eyes do not absorb light. Everything is about 3 times brighter to me than it is other people. And this has been documented with me for almost 25 years. So
I've had a good diagram of the eyeball here.
my eyeball is not, it's not built right.
There we go.
But I would love to understand why Razor Fist is so obsessed with the Sioux. He's not
So
even
would I,
from that
Frank.
area.
If he's just operating on crap he's been taught over the years or what. But
I mean, I get that we used to have a rivalry with the Navajo, but that's not even it at this point.
Mm-hmm.
See, when you look at this, normally, you have the eyeball here,
Mm-hmm.
and you have the colorations and all that go back a ways into it.
Mm-hmm. For some reason, they don't have the iris section, but where the light's going through, that's the iris.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, the entire thing would have the color, but it was just on the surface. The rest of it was just transparent.
Yeah, it should go all the way back into the eyeball a ways, like you're seeing in that thing. Should be the color of your iris. Mine isn't. I have a micro thin layer on the surface. It doesn't even go back into the rest of the eyeball all the way.
Yeah.
It is literally like a fractal line, like putting on a layer of paint kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's all the color I have in my eyes.
It's like only one coat. Doesn't cover enough.
So it looks dark at a glance, unless you get really close with the lighting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't do shit. It doesn't work right. Which is also what makes my vision so fucking badass at night, is that I am so hyper light sensitive that I am extremely light. I've got eagle eye at night. I can spot little details, animals, stuff in the treetops on mountains far away from me in the middle of the night. No problem.
Natural night vision.
Yeah. So it's kind of badass in some ways. So that's another statement of this.
Yeah.
It's a little intricacy. It's what race is albinism most common in? Albinism is an inherent genetic condition that reduces the amount of melanin pigments formed in the skin, hair, and or eyes. And or, not or and. Both occur. The levels of mutation and the ways they mutate vary heavily. There are now 7 classifications of albino, which was only 12 years ago. And yeah, there's all kinds of complexity of that. Albinism occurs in all racial and ethnic groups throughout the world. Say it loudly for the people in the back. All racial and ethnic groups throughout the world. In fact, they're finding it's actually more common in white people than they used to think, because they used to just be dismissed as being a little paler than the rest of their family. And they're finding is there's actually a lot of albinos that are white and they never got classified as albino. Because, well, the difference wasn't as notable to the eye. In other words, it's more noticeable when you take somebody who's like native or black and suddenly they look white. That's a lot more noticeable than somebody who's white suddenly looking pale or white.
Let's see if I can finally monetize last night's gaming stream.
I called out his comments about
There
all
we
races.
go.
Here's a friend of mine that was sharing this one with me. This is a Asian albino girl that does TikTok and stream stuff.
There.
It's a thing. Albinos are still hunted in Africa. We are still sought after. We are still treated as monsters. They are still headhunted and cannibalized. Do you understand this?
Yeah, not exactly the seat of human civilization, really. There are reasons for that, but I'm going to. It's
I'm not going into that for reasons.
It's not all culturally. It's also just geographical. You know, the layout of the place wouldn't allow.
I said I'm not going into that.
When they had that off, in case anybody thought he's a racist. No.
Anyway, stop. So to sit there and say that it's all one side, it's all one race, it's all this, it's all that, we all know that's bullshit. We all know that's bullshit, okay? Mm-hmm. And yes, before any of my haters want to bitch, yes, I'm having caffeine. It's also not sugar, so fuck you. Mm-hmm. I'm splurging. I'm having 2 sodas. I don't care if they're non-sugared. And I've been doing really good. So, suck it. Besides, you don't want me if I don't have caffeine.
She'd Minecraft.
ADHD intensified.
Yeah. And she'd Minecraft your ass in a heartbeat.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a good girl. I'd never do anything wrong. Caffeine calms me. It levels me. It helps me focus. It makes me less of a crazy psycho bitch. So, everybody who sees me drinking caffeine, what do you say?
Hallelujah.
I'm so sick and tired of the stupid.
Yeah, no shit.
I'm like, look, I get it. Lord knows I get it. We've got our problems. We've got our answers. We've got our solutions. All that. I get it. Look, people. 2 points in a prayer. We have so much fucking wrong in this society. Let's find our common ground somewhere.
All right. Ow.
No problem. But I swear, the ignorance on albino. I think the ignorance with echopraxia. It's like, oh, they're doing a tick that somebody else with ticks did. Yeah, that doesn't mean that we're trying to fake it. Actually, that's often proof that it's real. Because if people are trying to fake it, they will usually try to come up with one they've never seen somebody do. Because they don't want people to realize what they're doing. Whereas those of us who have ticks, picking up the ticks of other people is an extremely common thing. Mm-hmm. But I will always refer to calling my friend Captain Asian Dick because I watched too much of Code Mika with Sweet Anita one day.
Kind of like calling at somebody for yawning. Stop it. It'll be catching. Well, in their case, it is.
I'm sitting here thinking about this because I really want to go to this concert in a few months. Comedy show. I've been talking with a few friends about trying to get a group together to go over to a neighboring state and go see Drew Lynch.
Ah.
I'm trying to think how well this would go, considering the person I want to go with has a stutter and some issues with that himself. Mm-hmm. And I get severe tics, and they can be set off by other people's stuttering or other people's tics. And I'm sitting here going, will I end up on social media like the people with Tourette's that go see Kittle?
Yeah, I think in that case he'll just sit back and just hand you the mic and yeah, go ahead. I need a rest anyway.
It's like, is this going to end up being another one of those on social media?
Oh yeah,
we'll
make sure of that. You know it.
Almost every time I'm around somebody who stutters, I end up saying some of the most abhorrent things out of pocket without meaning to. And I already had this friend have to explain to employees at a business because I'm sitting there with him while he's trading in old video games and machines and getting new stuff. And he's sitting there trading with them. And I'm leaning on the counter waiting because I found something I wanted to get for my husband. And I was waiting. Okay, do your trade, do your thing. I'll get mine after. And he's sitting there and he's telling my friend what it's going to cost, what he's going to get out of the trade. And I'll say, fuck you, you fucking fuck. Fuck you. And he turns and looks over at me.
That's the time.
Excuse me? And about time he says, excuse me, I can see my friend going, no, ticks. She didn't mean it. I was like, oh, okay.
She's not negotiating with you. She's not joining in. No.
What? But they were nice about it. Once he said, no, it's ticks. They were so nice to me about it, and I was really ticky that day. And they sat there and they helped me. They helped me pick out the best one out of these kits and stuff. Too. It was these specialty decks of Magic cards that were designed with Lord of the Rings stuff. So that they actually come in a case where you display them all together. And it creates this giant art piece together. Mm-hmm. It's really gorgeous. It's really cool. And I was trying to pick one of them out for my husband, and after they figured out it was ticks, they sat there patiently for like 15 minutes helping me pick one out while I'm sitting there saying almost every fucking vulgar thing under the sun to them.
Oh, no.
And they were so nice and they were so patient. They wanted to hug them. I really did. I think the fact that when I could get fixed to stop, I was sorry, I didn't mean to every time. It's like... And the thing is that this happens almost every time I'm around this friend because he has a stutter. And the stutter somehow sets off my tics. And we want to go see the stuttering comedian together.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want to see the stuttering comedian because I like his comedy.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting here going, this could end really badly. Mm-hmm. Or this could end up with social media fame. I'm not sure which.
As you know, somebody in our group, if it comes across it, will make sure that it's a lot spread. Lots of hey, we know this.
We know this crazy bitch kicking at him. I mean,
we're friends.
Shrimpy.
What?
May I have a Chucky?
Hold on.
But I'm just sitting there thinking, okay, this could be really interesting. But I really want to go see him. I really do. Mm-hmm. I like his stuff, and I haven't gotten to go. Last time I got to go do a comedy show was when I got to see Fluffy down in Riverside at the casino near the birthplace of Kirk.
No.
Oh.
And they had so many people wanting into this concert and so many people trying to get tickets after they were sold out that they moved the entire thing out of their little arena in the actual casino, roped off the entire parking lot, and turned it into a giant arena. So he comes out and goes, I'm not sure about the optics of this because you got the Mexican out in the parking lot telling jokes. It's like, damn it.
Oh.
And at one point in the show, he's telling a joke and you can hear somebody in town a few blocks away was messing around with fireworks. So as he's in the middle of a joke, also hear boom, like a little pop explosion. He's like, oh. And once he figured out what it is, I think this is the first time I've ever been heckled by fireworks. It's like, but that's the last time I got to see a comedy show. And like I said, I've seen Fader, I've seen Dunham, I've seen a bunch of these guys before. I want to go to another comedy show. I like doing it. I like Drew's stuff, and I like supporting other people with nerve and speech issues who are really trying to overcome it and do good. You know, I really want to go see him, but I'm almost a little scared of what would happen if I do. Because I'm the one who sits there and absorbs every fucking video of Luke Kidgel and all the Tourette's people that come to his shows.
Should we call that 911?
I could so see that happening.
Yeah, I suppose.
Cheers, right? I mean, I don't know. Is it worth it? It sounds so fun, though. I want to go see it. The other fun part is because of the kind of humor he does and how crude he gets at times, he's not a show my husband would want to go to. That's why I need the friends to go with me. Because I cannot handle once. I've been to a concert on my own once. That was when I saw 3 Days Grace and Breaking Benjamin. And no. There's a lot of reasons why I should not go to these kinds of things alone.
Okay.
Please, dear God, tell me you have pants on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm still traumatized.
And you didn't even see that much.
Just thank God it was a long shirt.
I don't know, the fact that it looked so small comparatively was part of what was
And
dramatic.
again, long shirt, covered up a lot. You got-
It brings a whole new meaning to the term. It's a dick, not a joke. Right? Sorry. I mean, it's crazy, but like I said, the whole anti-albino freaks that like to harass me, they're comical.
Yeah.
They crack me up like all fuck anyways. I'm not gonna lie.
no, it's-
Well, as bad as they are, I kind of get fun out of it
Mhm.
because they're
Yeah.
so fucking stupid. It's fun to mock,
Yeah.
but
Mhm.
I really
Yeah,
do
again,
want to go see
a
Drew.
little unboxing earlier. Thinking, pants for Scotty showed up today, so when the figure gets here, he won't be sitting around in his skivvies for a while.
Okay, so you've got somebody in your chat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ah, well, hi. And before we get there, we won't be discussing that now. Whatever.
But welcome.
By
and
myself,
hello.
yeah, but
But
welcome.
I really want to see Drew, but
Mhm.
I'm kind of
Mhm.
scared of it too because even watching his shows on computer here,
Mhm.
I start ticking watching him,
Yep.
and I'm sitting there going, "I'm going to be that bitch. I know I'm going to be that bitch. I'm going to be sitting up front, and I'm going to start saying fuck you to him as he's trying to tell a joke, and he's going to be looking at me like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck is wrong with you?" I was like, I have so many stories where I've said, look, I remember sitting in the middle of church, rocking back and forth, uncontrollably screaming fuck over and over.
Oh, jeez.
I think they were looking for ways to get the demons out at that point, honestly. I mean,
Yeah.
it was awkward.
I'm just picturing that we got a Baptist background here, so I'm just picturing that happened during an invitation. The choir goes, "God says I am." Fuck.
Oh, goodness.
No, the sad thing was,
Have you said that prayer? Come down here. Fuck. What the?
this wasn't even that. This was literally what in the middle of the sermon, this really sweet moment, and talk about how God blessed all of the, and I went right into fuck. It was bad.
Oy.
It was very bad. It was very bad. I can't lie.
Thank
Okay.
God for online services these
And what
days.
what denomination are we talking here again?
We don't do denomination.
No, so it's sort of just on a non-denominational, whatever you want, come in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Being in a little more of the non-denominational charismatic gave a little more leeway from the people, but at least it really wasn't in the Southern Baptist or the hard Catholic churches because oh my god, oh my god, no. Oh, I can't imagine how they would have reacted.
It's amazing the charismatic. Mommy, is she speaking in tongues? Not quite, dear. No.
Mommy, what does that mean? And I think about the Tim Hawkins where he's talking about how he's signing interviews after this show, and somebody comes up and goes, "Would you put your favorite Bible verses?" He's like, "And I have one in Psalms, but I couldn't remember what it was. So I wrote down this number, thinking it's in Psalms. It's got to be beautiful. It's got to be deep." And for some reason, I just kept signing them that way after that. It's like sent out like 100 of these, like my own little mission field. So I'm going home and going, "Please, God, let it be a good verse. Please, God, let it be a good verse." So I go home and I open up my Bible, and to my horror, it says, "For lo, I have a painful disease in my loins."
Oh, God.
Oh.
Maybe you ought to go into comedy.
And you just sitting there thinking, because he's sitting there talking about, he's going, you know, because when they went home, they read this with their family, like, "Come on, kids, let's read this. It's his favorite person. For lo, I have a painful disease in my loins."
Never mind, kids. Let's turn on Nickelodeon.
And it shows sitting there going,
It's like it's SpongeBob on Nickelodeon. Yeah, good time.
Oh, my God. Girl, you ought to start doing stand-up. Really.
Check TV Land. Is Zorro on?
But it's like, well, some of these are jokes from other comedians. Some of them are just my interpretations of it. I love when he tells that because I'm sitting there watching it. I'm like, you wonder what it'd be like in the mind of that woman, don't you?
Yeah.
Like her brain's like going through a checklist of which STDs are transferable by handshake, right?
Also, things like was Tim Hawkins hitting on me?
Why is he telling me about his loins? Please, somebody. So then I'm reading this and I started researching older translations of it.
Oh boy.
Let's see.
Have you got the verse that has recently reacquired my Bible from storage?
I'm looking it back up here a sec.
All right, hold on. Let me go grab it.
Psalms 38, 5-8, King James Version. For my loins are filled with a loathsome disease, and there is no soundness in my flesh. I am feeble and sore, broken. I have roared by the reasons of disquietness of my heart. It's worse when you add the entire verse and you add the old translation. It's worse. Oh, dear God. It is worse when you add the whole one.
Right.
So for everybody to see.
This should make my old church friends happy. I still got my Bible. Yeah. What verse you got there?
It is Psalm 38, 5-8, where this came. It is Psalm 38, 5 that he actually did for this. But if you read 38, 5-8, in the old King James, it says, for my loins are filled with a loathsome disease, and there is no soundness in my flesh. I am feeble, sore, and broken. I have roared by reason of disquietness of my heart and body.
All right, 5-8.
Mm-hmm.
New American Standard, which is considered probably one of the more accurate to the actual text. My wounds grow foul and fester because of my folly. I am bent over and greatly bowed down. I go mourning all day long. For my loins are filled with burning, and there is no soundness in my flesh. I am benumbed and badly crushed. I groan because of the agitation of my heart. Not much better.
It's really bad. And I actually, when I first listened to this skit from him, I looked up like so many translations. I even looked up the traditional Geneva Bible and the Israeli Hebraic translation and all that. And it's horrible in all of them. It is horrible in all of them. And it is so bad. Oh my God. It's hilariously bad because this is what he told people. This one, Psalms 38, 5. In the NIV is my wounds fester and are loathsome because of my sinful folly. That really sounds like an STD.
Yeah. Sounds like syphilis to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
With a little bit of bubonic plague.
Did Jenkins have that? He did.
Syphilis? I don't know. I thought she was just a horrible singer. I don't know anything about her history other than just like she became quite a sensation because she was so bad.
See, this is why I love watching all these comedy shows. And I'm set on this. I'm going to find a way to go see Drew Lynch. I'm also set on this. I need a heavy dose of CBD before, or I'm going to end up being a social media pariah and hero in different people. It may not make a difference. I may end up that way anyways. I tick when people stutter. Yeah. Which makes it really fun with my friend with his stutter.
Yep.
We go hang out and he stutters more the more I tick, and I tick more the more he stutters. So once one of us ticks or stutters, it's off to the races.
Ding 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 ding.
Yeah, Annie Glenn had a stutter for years.
God.
And she finally went. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say this is gonna be interesting.
And she had a stutter for years, and finally got rid of it when she went to this, clinic or whatever. I think. And first thing she says to her husband when she walks in the door, after going through this clinic, she looks at him and she says, "Pick up your socks."
So we are trying to put together the group for GingerCast 3. So here's our GingerCast is just the main boom, simple name, up and down. Then we did GingerCast 2, the search for more gingers, with spoofs of Spaceballs on it. Now we're doing GingerCast 3, Revenge of the Gingers.
Oh boy.
Not gonna lie, it's been really fun. Not gonna lie, between all of my places I was airing it and all the places that Phoenix was last time, by the time we had all the views that night and the next morning, we had almost 800 views between the channels.
Damn.
People like watching a bunch of redheads act crazy. I mean, I don't know why. What is it about us redheads? I don't know. The search for more ginger. I mean,
Oh, like I said, you really ought to go into stand-up.
Yeah, if you got a place to do an open mic night anymore.
I think part of the problem was and why things got so fucking crazy on the last one is because they had me and Lenore in the same place. Me and Lenore, Robert, you were there. How badly did we play off each other, torturing poor Phoenix?
Oh, yeah, it's rather brutal.
Me and Lenore have done several streams together. Every time we stream together, it goes so fucking off the rails so fast. I don't know what it is about me and that girl, but we are dangerous together, I swear.
Rails. I don't see any rails.
And me and her both worked colorist stuff with Tilt. She was the main colorist. I was the one who did some of the specialty art for it. So I actually met her through working on a comic together. Which I think is kind of cool, actually. I'm not going to lie. I thought that was kind of cool. But just to remind people how crazy this was, I will re-show people the artwork from the last stream and remind you that this is the attitude we're going into number 3 with, and we're doing number 3 on April Fools. So...
If Seth can get back in the color in her hair, she maybe get her on there.
Who?
He's talking about me.
Yeah.
You don't have to be on camera.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
Their status is an occasional and former ginger.
Well, technically, Lenore dyes hers pink, and she's still naturally ginger. So what does that mean?
I'm not quite sure.
Everyone in the audience would, oh, well, pink is still defined as a shade off of red. So fuck it. She's still part ginger, right?
Okay.
I think that was more because everybody just wanted her there.
Looks like they brought Drax into Fortnite.
Oh boy, somebody's horn is going off outside.
So poor Phoenix, he brought in the 2 troublemakers, and we absolutely lambasted that stream.
Yeah.
We blasted that shit into the next millennium. I'm sorry to say, kind of.
No, you're not.
But it was wild. It was crazy. We had so much fun. We went so over the top, and by the time I nuked my YouTube stream the next day, because I private all mine because I'm trying to get my viewership back up, and the streams take it away from any videos I put up. By the time I nuked my YouTube the next morning, oh dear God, I had way over 70 views on that one. Let's see, I should be able to scroll back enough to see where I want to know where my okay, so I have to laugh. I have to, but GingerCast was Wednesday, which was what day of the month? Do you remember?
I don't remember. I woke up. I thought today was Thursday, so that's don't count on me for anything.
Today's Tuesday.
I know.
Yeah, it was that. Yeah, it was asking me this morning.
Wednesday was the 20th. Okay. I'm scrolling back a sec here. Let's see, where am I at here? 20th. Okay, so Phoenix's just X showing of the Ginger Cast is saying he has over 300 views on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Mine is listed. Ooh. Yeah, mine's up there too. I had almost 70 on here. He had a couple hundred on the YouTube. We had a couple other places we streamed it to, and yeah, it just went big. It got so many views between all the different channels. It's not even funny. And it's like, we may have struck out a winning thing here. Just gingers being crazy gingers together, right? When will I be unleashed? It's not the one it should be. So yeah, we've had this absolutely insane lately.
Wow.
But yeah, this unhinged nutbar who thinks he's going to intimidate me, impress me, bully me. What is it he wants? What is it he thinks he's going to get?
He has to be right on the internet.
Own how stupid you are. Look, we all have things that we're like quality in. Lick that window and be proud of it. Accept your failings. I sure as fuck do.
Well, one of these idiots during this whole diatribe was like, it was on our Twitter feed. It was online. That must be true. I can conjure up a picture of a certain bad man from Germany on with Shirley Temple riding a unicorn covered in bubble wrap down Hollywood Boulevard with drinking Dr. Peppers. And would you buy that too? I got the program to make it photorealistic. It looked like it absolutely fucking happened. You fucking morons.
That's also what's really dangerous about today's society. It's so easy to fake shit. Yeah, that I'll give credit. That little fake that they'd made of our friend was actually quite realistic looking.
Yeah, until they pulled up the actual post, and it's like, okay, someone went to a little effort here.
Yeah, because to go to that much effort to really, really edit it, try to look realistic. That's a level of psycho people that should not be happening. Anyone within the sound of my voice, seek counseling if you actually think that faking things on people because you don't like what they said is a good idea. Please. Because it's like unhinged bullshit.
Like, we generally keep the receipts. No, this is the actual post, asshole. No, straight. You just got, again, I dumped on this moron. You were presented a lie. I don't care how many times you posted, it's still a lie, and you doubled down on it rather than accept it. And I said, apologize now. Go shut the fuck up, or
How about the one that went? Well, yeah, I posted this lie. It was sent to me. Well, first of all, even if it was sent to you, you acknowledge the lie, but it's still true. This person's still this thing, even though they never said it. It's like, wow. It's like, look, I have my own issues with some of that person's comments. I argue with her all the time, but don't fucking lie about somebody. And whether I argue with her all the time or not, she's still my fucking friend. And I'm not going to sit by and let people lie about what she said. And the fact that they keep trying to call her male and denying that she's female, if there was anybody on the other side doing this the other direction, how many ways would you be called sexist, bigoted, against it, all this? How many ways would you get canceled, suspended, reported, all this stuff? But somehow it's okay to do this to a woman if you don't like what she has to say. I've gotten these comments to me. There is nothing fucking masculine about me. Nothing.
Nope.
Trust me, I know, because I wanted to look like a boy when I was younger. I hated being a girl. I wanted to be a boy. So, yeah, I went through the whole dysphoric era. And, yeah, I don't know why my computer's lighting just changed on me. This is weird. Come on, camera. Thank you. Go back. No. So, I went through that whole dysphoric era. So, absolutely fucking own it. It's maddening. I swear, it's so fucking maddening.
And this time she brings it up.
No.
I didn't bring it up.
No.
Oh.
I'm not going into that. I can talk about my dysphoria.
Yeah, okay,
That's not the same fucking thing.
All right.
I'm talking about the fact that they keep trying to call Hikari a male and deny that it's a woman. And how bigoted that would be if you did this in reverse. And yeah, they've done it to me too. And it's like, no. You're not on the right side of history with this. You're really a fucking bad guy. You're a fucking bad guy if you're doing this shit. You really are. I'm about ready to kill my light in here because I've been sick lately.
That's
and I'm
fine.
so fucking pale right now that it keeps washing out and the camera lighting keeps changing on me. It's starting to really fucking piss me off though. Can anybody in the sound of my voice understand why this shit's wrong? It's not okay for you to sit there and try to strip a woman of her woman. Pretend she's not a woman because you don't like something she said. What the unholy fuck? No matter what you think of what we've said or not, does not change the fact that we're fucking female. Where is there anyone in the sound of my voice who thinks that this shit is a good idea? Please, because I would love to know. Explain to me how you're that fucking stupid. Hikari is a woman. Calling her a man over and over because you don't like her opinion is literal sexism. It's literal bigotry.
Does she have a link to her Twitter stuff? On her
I've seen
bio?
Twitter stuff. In fact,
I've seen it, but is there a link on her her Twitch stuff? She's got a few Twitch videos.
I thought she had her channel linked. Let me check.
Yeah, there's a Twitch link on her bio. Like, let's
her
call up a
age
video.
and her gender, her marital status are all in her bio.
Yeah, let's get that out of the way. Let's call up an example of who you're calling a man all the damn time.
I get this. I get called a guy by these same people. No sound, no sound, no sound.
It's got it because there's no music, but this is just.
Okay. Oh, her voice?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I didn't mean for that to happen.
That voice?
Well, sometimes, you have technical issues and they're really unfortunate.
Oh, so masculine and manly.
What can you do?
That voice, right?
Yeah.
Because holy crap, right?
Frankly, it sounds like someone doing their Teddy Chan voice. That's how she.
Oh, good Lord.
That's the level. Yeah.
That is, by the way, absolutely her voice. It's not fake.
Yeah, that's her.
That's what she's like when you're backstage talking to her after the stream. That's absolutely her voice. She's got people who we were sitting there on stream when somebody came in the chat and was trying to get us to do her, trying to convince us to get her to do these little kid sexy voices. Remember?
Like, that's her normal voice. Okay.
It is absolutely her voice. It's, and yes, she's fucking 34, and that's her voice.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I may not have the most frilly and dainty voice in the world, but I'm not fucking masculine.
Yeah.
There is nothing masculine about me. And
Yeah,
again,
the tits
when I
don't
went
lie.
through my era hating being a woman, I wanted to be masculine. I searched for things in me to be masculine. For fuck's sakes, I wanted to come off as a man. I couldn't. Nobody believed it. No matter how much I tried to dress like a man, come off as a man, nobody fucking believed it. Ever fucking believed it. That's the truth. That's reality. So this whole mindset, this whole mind fuck, it's not reality.
Ow.
Fucking hell. Look at me. There's nothing, even with the lights off, it's doing this. Fucking hell. There is nothing about me masculine. Why the fuck are these people so determined to do this shit? Why are they so determined to try to make people into what they're not? Especially if you disagree with them. God forbid you fucking agree with them. I am all woman. I went through a long time where I didn't want that to be the case. But I'm all woman.
There is a considered opinion that the cult is in its death throes. That's why they're going a little nuts.
No matter what you guys say, I'm all woman. And to everyone who keeps trying to bring up this whole thing, trying to say that PCOS is a body gender issue where you're no longer your full gender, fuck you. I hope you fucking choke. I hope you choke so hard on that fucking dick that was shoved up your ass that you can't breathe. You Minecraft people. Seriously, if you're the kind of person saying that shit, fuck you. 6 ways to Sunday. Sorry, do I have a bitch side?
Yes, you do.
I really, really, really hate the people doing this shit. I do. It's difficult when you're going through this shit not to lose your ever loving fucking mind. These are natural bitches. Fake ones don't move like this. Just because I'm wearing a dress where it kind of hides them right now, especially in this lighting, doesn't mean they're not here. Look at the fucking hands are wide open and underneath them. Jiggle, jiggle. These are natural. There's only so much you can fake of that. Fucking hell, you fucking idiots. Nothing here is masculine.
Yes.
Nothing.
For those flat-chested girls who want to get close to it, though, I recommend saline. Don't go silicone.
Even the saline has its own issues.
Yeah, but, you know.
But silicone, oh my God, there's so many issues with pumping a lot of that into your body.
It's just, you know, it's just beach balls stuck under there. You know?
It's also, have you actually seen some of the footage of when boob jobs and butt jobs rupture?
Ugh.
Yeah.
I have. It's really bad, actually. And one of them made media because she had this giant ass implant and she was trying to show it off at the gym. And it literally exploded on camera.
Ow.
And she ended up in a several-month coma because of how much she bled and how bad it was. It was bad.
When the silicone just starts wandering through the, you know, it doesn't really
she bled
anything.
so
It's
much
just,
that it knocked her out so bad they couldn't wake her up once they got enough blood into her.
Ugh.
It was bad.
Yeah.
And Why would you do this to yourselves? Women out there, please. Anyone within the sound of my voice.
Mhm.
Why would you do this to yourselves, girls? It's so unnecessary. Look, there's so many. Look, guys, within the sound of my voice. Do you care, honestly, if she's got big or small tits or asses, as long as she keeps them in shape and lets you touch them? Most men, honestly, don't care that much. They just want to touch it.
Yeah, as long as they're there and available. Men
are pretty easy.
God knows we're fucking whores. Okay, come on. Tim Allen did it right. Men are pigs. Okay,
Actually, come to think of it, I think it was him that did that little impromptu homemade bumper sticker for the Ukraine. Because it sounds like it would be just a speed.
I don't know, and that's getting into stuff I don't talk about.
I don't remember that. I might discuss it offline if you remember, but not with like somebody went trying to get these impossible standards and felt like no, they're failing. We really, we got certain checkpoints to go for it, but they're all negotiable. Okay.
I got news for you. Some of the ugliest, fattest women in the world can get laid by blinking at a man. Because once a woman's attitude is, I'm willing, most guys are going,
okay,
let's go.
And that kind of goes to why do you have so many people simping after you? It's a lot of it's personality. Because again, mostly I see it from the neck up anyway.
But it's like there's a movie called The Ugly Truth. I don't know if you actually watched it. It's crude, but
Gwyneth Paltrow and Jack Black? No.
Gerard Butler and can't think of her name off the top of my head at the moment. It's a fucked up movie, but it's actually got a lot of valid points in it. Okay, so we'll get into that.
Look it up.
Yeah, look up her name a sec, because Katherine Heigl.
Okay.
And it's rated R for a reason.
Okay.
At one point, he's playing this shock jock that says all these things to defend people. And as he's doing his little show, he's explaining the differences between men and women. He's sitting there going, all these how-to books, how to get a man, how to get a good man, how to do this and stuff. Throw them away. You want to know how to keep a man? It's called a Stairmaster. Get on it. Work out. Get some slutty lingerie. Because honestly, men are here for two reasons. We stick around for your tits and ass and what you're willing to do with them.
Oh, boy.
There's one point where he's coaching her on how to win the guy she likes. And she's at a sporting event. And he's going, put the hot dog in your mouth slowly. Trust me. Men love watching phallic-shaped food enter a woman's mouth.
Here's the poster. Note where he's holding the heart. Yeah.
It's actually a really funny movie. I like it, actually. But it is so fucked up. I have to play it for you later, actually, I think.
Oh, you got it?
Yes.
All right.
I'd have to wait till my husband's here so he can set it up in the other room. But yeah, I can play that movie for you. I have it.
Let's see. Katherine Heigl, Jerry Butler, Returner, Eric Winter, Jesse D. Goins. Cheryl Hines.
You should be doing, honey.
I got all damn night to do that, though. Okay, there's not a hurry on that. I just got to make sure I get trash out by tomorrow.
I love this in-your-face shit. She is such a hyper control freak, and he is such a degenerate asshole. But there comes one point where his nephew gets in trouble for saying something vulgar to one of his classmates, and he looks at him and goes, "Where did you learn that? From your show." Don't repeat the stuff I say on my show, especially to teenage girls who are going through enough issues already. Like, he's like, no, God, don't say that shit to those girls. Poor things, right?
In the movie, his character shows up on Late Night with Craig Ferguson. The two are friends in real life. So,
oh, God.
I very much enjoy that movie, even though it's kind of nuts. And
Why do I crush the can? So I know not to drink from it again. Okay, too many times it's empty. Oh damn, it's empty. No. And Charlie,
it's
no,
the
sir.
truth. Women, we put in this whole viewpoint where it's like women act like because we're complicated, men are.
Mm-hmm.
This is where I got into it with the guy that mutual friendly usually on my thread, shouting the stupid women are inferior shit that Tate does. But you sit there trying to make it sound like men are better at multitasking, shit like that. It's like, no,
The fuck we are.
No, you're not. It's scientifically proven women have better pathways for multitasking and brain division of thought. This is neurologically proven and tested. Look, it's okay to acknowledge where men are generally stronger and better at things than women. It's okay to acknowledge where women generally are better and stronger at things than men. We're not the same.
No.
But we were meant to complement each other.
If it weren't for our mutual need in regards to reproduction, we'd be two different species.
And yet all my best friends are male. I'm not sure what that says about me.
Yes, we know you haven't known in your life.
I think, I don't know, we could probably do a discussion just on that.
The furry, the gnome.
It kind of goes to the whole thing of why
Net.
guys generally love tomboys. Okay, we can relate on certain things. You know, there's a connection.
Net cat, furry, gnome.
Yeah.
Bob will go in that list, I'm sure.
I would hope so. After all this time, you know.
I mean, you start looking at even in the group who are the ones I talk to the most, who are the ones I interact with the most. Guess what? All my best friends are male. All of them.
Yeah.
Like it's not even a small percentage thing. It's like every fucking one. Okay.
No love for us women.
What?
No love for us women.
Not much, actually.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hey.
you asked, I answered. You cannot get mad at somebody for answering a question you ask.
So that's gonna put because I got that episode of Northern Explorers, just pulled a clip out where Maurice is going on. Women are motivated by all this right brain emotional stuff. Men are simple creatures. They're mainly motivated by our stomachs or our penises.
Okay, I'm going to have to play something for you when we're off air. Before we get into the ugly truth and the crude side of this, I will play Tale of Two Brains for you. It is the opening stand-up routine that Mark Gungor did for his marriage retreat.
Oh, boy.
Now, to reiterate, he is actually a pastor. But he was explaining the differences in men and women and how you motivate each other. And at one point he's talking about men have different motivation. We'll just call this, and he's doing these stick figures. We'll just call this the place of happiness, and draws like a big fucking have a nice day smiley face right over the crotch of the woman. And he said, and I've been doing this for actually had a woman come up to me and go, "Thank you so much, Pastor Mark. I can't look at Walmart the same anymore."
Oh.
That is just so wrong.
He says, and men are different. We had our puberty, and then we go to our sexual peak, and then it slowly tapers off, and he carefully draws a straight as fuck line across the page, and then we're dead.
Yep. I used to watch a lot of Avian at the Improv. So I don't know the comedian's name, so one of the guys that came back. But he had to, like the difference between men and women is like, say you got some kind of party going on, and they're arguing about snacks. Men delegate. It's like, okay, and they're trying to figure out who didn't do what. Well, who brought the chips? Who brought the I brought the drink. Oh, I ate the dips. Okay. Points for trying that one, but
women are usually just get the fuck out of the way and let me do this shit.
It's like, who the hell didn't do anything? It's your turn to do something, you know? Like, okay, you got to go do the beer run because you didn't done shit so far. You know, that's it. Women on the end cooperate. It's time to do snacks. Okay, they'll all go in there, you know, and make the thing in together. But that's why men and women don't get along, because different dynamics. It's like, okay, how was it? Well, I brought the chips. Well, you fucking asshole.
Well, the difference is also with men and women on that regards. When men are trying to get something done, there's a certain amount of everybody has to pull their own weight attitude.
Yeah.
And so you'll go at each other to find out who's not contributing, who's not pulling their weight. Women have one of two modes. Either it's, let's all be in this partnership, or it's, get the fuck out of my way. I can do it all myself, you dumbasses. Fuck get out of my way. I'll do it. And when we hit that mode, the only thing to do is step out of the way and gird your fucking loins.
Yeah.
Because when you try to help, when we're in get the fuck out of my way mode, we want to fucking axe you. In Minecraft, YouTube.
No.
You're not helping me. Women don't usually have this, let's make sure everybody did an equitable amount of the work. Women have, if you didn't do an equitable amount of the work, I'm going to blast you and go gossip behind your back for it later. They don't have the, why aren't you contributing now attitude. It's more like, you fucking bitch, I hate you.
And also, guys, it's like they get pissed at, they just go after the guy, whoever pissed them off, the guy. Women, it's like, no, they will go after you. And anyone connected with you, they'll go total scorched earth, you know?
Look,
anyone you want to talk to is a target. It's like,
let me put it to you this way. Have I gone scorched earth on anybody?
Yeah.
Have you guys seen me when I go scorched earth?
I think you've been on the sidelines for that recent one. Yeah.
Did I not sit here and yell on air about any person who even liked the person's post or talked to him?
Yeah.
I generally kind of tune out at that point. I don't want to get involved.
I think at that point you were just sitting there going, why are you pulling this on her? And dear God, now we have to deal with her in this state.
Yeah.
You made her unbearable for the rest of us, you fucker, right?
No, we've got to fix her, you shithead.
Trying to comfort you while stealthily trying to steal your CBD.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a whole other thing, you fucking cat. She's nuzzling me, and all of a sudden she's reaching over my shoulder at the CBD. It's like,
you little junkie, yeah.
and pulls the bag to the floor and tries to take off with it.
You furry little junkie. Yeah.
Women, we hold grudges like we're fucking camels saving water. Once you've pissed us off, I don't care if we don't see you again for 20 years. The next time we see you, we're plotting your demise.
It's back on.
Women don't let shit go until you've made amends. Look, there are people who fucked me over in Job Corps. I would still destroy their lives if I ever saw them again. I mean,
I have heard tales, and it's like they come, like some GIs come back home with a Filipino wife. But they did something, insulted their mother, something like 20 years later, you're sitting there reading the paper, whatever. She's knitting, and suddenly, boom, you got a knitting needle in your leg. Like, what the fuck is happening? That's what you said 20 years earlier. It's like, what? I mean, if you remember that happened, it's like,
look, I have a head full of brain scars and Parkinson's, and I can remember every person who's fucking pissed me off, and I plan their vengeance commonly.
Yeah, those circuits have not been burned.
Those circuits keep restoring themselves, literally. That one the doctors haven't figured out. The part of my brain that remembers the people who pissed me off keeps healing itself. It literally doesn't want to die. It wants revenge.
Well, you feed what you're you grow what you feed, I guess.
It's like, look, my mom has said it before. She's really glad that I'm a good person because I'm scary if I'm not.
Oh yeah.
And my mom will look right at me and go, I'm really glad you're not that kind of person because holy shit, the things you come up with. And I'm sitting there going, just remember, Mama, you raised me, and I know where I got my fucked up side from. I mean, I love my mother, but she's got a bitch side too. I inherited it from someone. I'm just saying. Mama taught well. I mean, I wouldn't take my mother on a bet.
Oy.
And how many people wouldn't take me on a bet?
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
She's worse.
Yeah, you get to find out where it came from.
Oh, yes. Yes, yes. I can be visceral. I can be mean. My mother can make you wish you were never born. Please understand, I don't say this vindictively at all. I actually am very impressed by it. I find it very funny.
Mhm.
I don't know what that says about me.
Means you got Irish Celtic, unfiltered through Lakota Sioux.
Hi, Pluto.
Neither are particularly peaceful.
Oh, you got to remember,
ethnicities.
I've also got a bit of that Viking and German mixed in too over there.
Yeah, these aren't exactly peaceful people
Mammoth.
either.
Mammoth! I mean, basically, the most peaceful people in my lineage are Cherokee.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I do have those Spaniards that,
Yeah,
blanked and pillaged their way through South America in my lineage too.
mm-hmm.
You could go there. I mean, and through that lineage, I do have traces of Aztec, Mayan, and a bunch of those tribes in my lineage. You want to talk about that side?
Mhm.
Basically, I am basically a conglomeration of some of the most violent tribes and people in history from multiple regions.
And in more recent ancestry, we got Billy the Kid was in there. There's someone with impulse control problems.
Benedict Arnold?
That was just bad judgment, really, on his part.
Yeah, but there's reasons for that. And he definitely had some anger issues and mental issues. They're kind of well documented. That's part of what led to. Again, it was bad judgment. He believed them when they said, "If you do this, we'll help keep these people from being killed," instead of "We'll kill them."
Yeah.
He thought he was trying to save their lives.
Yeah, and forgot that we're talking about the British, okay, the English. Refined cruelty into a thing. Visit the Tower of London.
Okay. Look at just my two basic backgrounds. The things I have the most of in me. You have Lakota, the same family lineage that combines people like Crazy Horse and Sitting Bull and Standing Soldier and all of them. And then you have Irish. Those are my main two. So anybody who wants to understand why I'm as fucking psycho as I am, there you go.
Yep, she's a crazy psycho bitch.
Here we are, the Tower of London.
You can spot your own.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, is there any kind of cyber tour type thing on the Tower of London? But even just looking at the stuff.
Put him in the Tower of London. Make him part of a tour. Sorry.
Oh, God.
I love Men in Tights. What do you want from me? I mean...
That reminds me, Natalie Dormer was talking about the feeling she got when she went to the Tower of London while filming The Tudors.
Well, went over there to the approximation of where the scaffolding was, where they beheaded Anne Boleyn. And that was kind of spooky.
Yeah, I've been to the site of Wounded Knee.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of like,
Mammoth, that would be interesting to delve into. I mean, I have ties to so many kind of crazy people. Yes, some were also on the Lakota side. They were kind of known for having bands of female braves that were basically the American Amazonians. We fucking killed everything.
Yeah, the name Shannon, that is an old Irish Celtic military rank. Fairly high ranking one. It's like colonel or something, or general almost. You were a Shannon. You were like, and the fact that, it's a girl's name and a boy's name.
So yeah, I kind of I have kind of that history anyways, and then you couple that with the shit I've been through in my life, especially my childhood, and I hit this stage in my life where It went from being the shy and apologetic one who let people blame me for the crap they were doing to me to get the fuck out of my way or I'll fucking nuke you. In Minecraft, Tim.
Okay, I don't recall it being that much. When I went to the tower, I don't know if it cost anything, but maybe a few quid. Price is now £34.80.
The tour of the Tower of
The
London.
tour of the Tower of London, yeah.
I can confirm because that's my mom's side. And like I said, I wouldn't take her on a bet. I am actually a Buffalo woman of the tribe. I am actually a tribal warrior chicken. I wouldn't take my mother on. Not on a bet. Now, I will say you go down to the res and oh my God, those boys, when they see pale skin on a busty chick, oh my God. There is something to, there's a fetishizing of pale skin among Native and Black population where they really like their white chicks. And then again, there is a thing with a lot of white chicks where they really like their brown boys.
Oh boy.
And those people usually find each other, hence how I exist. I mean, there's this joke with Williamson Reed where they're talking about, as we say on the reservation, when do the checks get here? No, it's chicks. We always say, when do the white chicks get here? Well, what if the chicks bounce? Then they get to stay longer. That was my dad's favorite joke. He would listen to that and then I'd pat my mom on the leg and go, isn't that right, my white woman? Isn't that right, Casper?
Honey,
Oh, God.
can you make me a sandwich?
Oh, Jesus.
There was zero shame, zero F's given. My dad was proud that he went and found himself a little white woman. Didn't bother him one bit. And my mom has never denied, you know, for a woman who grew up in the sticks where basically the closest you had usually to having minorities around was some of the guys who would come out of the res then, but in that era, there weren't a lot of them off the res at that point. And yet somehow most of my mother's exes are Native or Black. As she sits there and goes, no, I always had a bit of a thing for the brown boys. It's like, I already knew this, Mom. Fucking hell, it was pretty obvious.
Oh, God.
No shame.
If we ever get over to England on a permanent basis, definitely have to look into membership in these the historic royal palaces.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, you see, joint, yeah, it'd be pricey. You know, direct debit would be 90 quid a year. Okay, yeah, 90 quid a year. But from the benefits, free and unlimited entry to
Can I finish what I was saying?
Okay, all right.
So what I was getting at with that whole thing is there is a thing with this whole cultural thing where what is exotic to you is what's not common around you. The reason why so many fetishes towards Asian women exist is because in most of the world, there's not that many of them. It's not Asian women that are considered exotic or sexy when you're in Asia.
No,
Then you got a lot of fetishizing of white and native, actually. You go down to South America, and there's actually quite a few people who fetishize either North American natives or Black people. Hi, Kermit, and I am avoiding that because that's still semi-political. But
no,
welcome.
what you mean, no.
Hi, Kermit.
That's called literally trolling.
God.
That's trolling in real life.
Okay.
But
Okay. Anyway, membership in the palaces situation. It's like free and unlimited entry to Hampton Court Palace, Tower of London, Kensington Palace, and Hillsborough Castle and Gardens within opening hours. 10% discount admission to Kew Gardens, which Kew Palace and Great Pagoda are situated. Free or discounted entry to a wide range of palace events and exhibitions. Early booking for special exhibitions and events. Access to an additional program of exclusive member-only events. Exclusive discounts for events and experiences for our partners. 10% discount in the shops, cafes, and restaurants. Exclusions apply. free subscription to our members magazine Inside Story, and knowing your valuable donation goes to preserving our palaces for future generations.
Yeah. So like I said, I don't think there's anything wrong with the fact that we're attracted, even some to the fetish level with things that are different or exotic. The thing that gets creepy is when it goes to like obsessive fetishizing or dangerous fetishizing, where you seek out people whether they want you or not and all that. And that's a whole other level. And that's why I was trying to do it years ago and it never ended up happening because all this shit that happened. I really do need to have an actual round table on the part fetishes play in our sexuality, good and negative. I need to actually have that open debate and discussion. Obviously, that stream will actually be completely age restricted.
Yeah.
Because we're not going to go tiptoeing into that one.
There shouldn't be any kids.
Yeah, no.
That one probably go and put up the bear. No. Don't even think about coming here.
I know it does, Pluto. It goes worse than even just stalking at some of the stuff, and that goes into some of the stuff I've been through. The targeting of Native women in the sex trade, the targeting of albinos in headhunting and sex trade around the world, stuff like that, is all part of what's become the obsessive fetishizing. It is, you're not like what I have, so I want you. It's also, to a lot of these guys, literally trying to collect the exotic and rare, like trophies to show off.
Gotta catch them all.
And it is disturbing on a lot of levels. If you've delved into dealing with that world, if you've dealt with the people coming out of it or the things that have happened, they literally get paid based on which check boxes of rarity the people they catch meet. It's not even based on looking for somebody attractive or other stuff. It's literally, is she this certain body feature that's rare? Is she this skin color or race that's rare? Is she this condition that's rare? And the money they get paid per person they grab goes up for each one of those check boxes. So the more you can combine all these rare things into one person, the more money you get.
Ooh.
Now I know why I've had so many of these guys try to come after me and try to grab me in my lifetime. Because I am not a common thing.
There's a sultan in Dubai is going to pay my mortgage on you. Yeah.
Unfortunately, that is what it is.
Yeah.
And it's a difficult discussion, and I know a lot of people are a little afraid of it, but it's also when we've got to stop denying it's happening. We've got to deal with the reality. Dealing with the reality is the only way we're ever going to try to fix it.
Honey?
Yeah, sandwich. Yeah.
And the truth is, absolutely, that I've seen this stuff firsthand. And look, the last time one of these guys in their unmarked vans trafficking down the back highways to the res chased my car was last year.
The fuck?
Because you hit this point in the mountains there where you have this long stretch of highway with no phone signal. There's no ability to reach for help. There's no ability to get help. And yeah, it's happening a lot. And the level of targeting of Native women is actually hitting extinction level for a lot of these tribes, where they're losing more people than can be born at this point. And it has to be addressed. And we have to close the fucking border. There's one place where I will agree with one side, and I'm sorry that's as political as I'm going on it, but that's where we're going. It's over 95% South America that's grabbing us. We have to do something. Because I'm watching my people disappear to the most horrific shit in the world every day. And people wonder why I'm so adamant that I'm always going to have weapons on me, that I'm always going to be defensive. It's not even close. The last time somebody tried to chase me and my mom in her car and was literally coming up beside us, trying to look into the car, was coming up behind us and trying to spy in the back. And she's got a little shade. We can press a button. It goes up across the back window and obscures into the vehicle. Once she did that, this guy was obsessively tailgating, trying to see in the vehicle. He kept coming beside us and going just beside us and trying to see in, and then falling back slightly. No matter what speed she went, he kept following. He didn't leave. He didn't leave until I literally pulled out the machete and started acting like I was sharpening it. And people wonder why I keep weapons on me. And that was actually last year. This stuff is not ended. In fact, it's getting more common again. And living in rural America is not just dangerous because of the wild animals. There's not a lot of police force, and there's people targeting the rural communities for this stuff. The problem is, I'm not going to get too much into what president will do what and what I believe on that. I have no faith in either side, but I will say the problem with trying to be like Japan is it's a lot easier for an island to do it than for a landmass. Which is why we need to start really fighting for our right to be armed, our right to defend ourselves, shit like this. This is why I won't give up on that. Because I've had to be protected with weapons. In my life, I've had to be protected with weapons, and it doesn't go away. And it's hard. It's a hard discussion to have. It really is. I understand that. And Steffi, you keep making that noise with your tablet again.
Well, I just picked it up is all.
Yeah, when you pick it up while your mic is on, it gets a scratchy, horrible noise. That's what we keep trying to tell you. So, just letting you know that's happening because it kind of hurt my head a little. Okay?
Okay.
To a degree. To a degree. We can limit it. We can definitely make it harder for them to do this shit. It's never going to be perfectly sealed. But we can do all we can. They're not trying is the thing. And there's so many rules and regulations they've done that actually aid this. Make it harder for the tribes to defend themselves. And it's sad. But literally, I live... When I'm out in the rural sticks, when I'm out in the mountains,
What?
This shit is common, and it's common up the back highways coming from the south.
I don't want it.
And it's a serious issue. And this is where I get frustrated because people always try to make it a racial thing. You hate this people. You hate this people. No, we want to protect people. Steph, I'm going to mute you for a sec because I'm trying to talk.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, come back when you're done talking to Bob. That's fine. But it's a serious thing, and most people don't realize it. And I wasn't trying to go political on this. I'm really trying not to make this a big political thing because it's really not. It's more basic human rights. And it drives me insane. Because I do my best. I do my best to try to give everyone on every side benefit of the doubt. I try to be a decent, kind person to people, but I'm not going to sit here and say there's not an issue either. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that there's not this epidemic situation that's targeting my people. I'm not going to sit here and say that it wasn't racist, some of the stuff that happened to me as a kid, when the people who did it to me flat out told me. They flat out called me very derogatory terms to combine pale skin and slurs for Indian in the terms they called me. So this wasn't like I was theorizing that that's why they attacked me. They told me while they were hurting me. And so it's not a stretch to say that this is a serious issue we have to address. And it drives me completely crazy that we act like we can't be open and honest about this situation. Like society has gotten this thing up its backside. Like we act like it's impossible. Impossible. Right? It's not. We have to acknowledge what's happening. We have to acknowledge the problems, or we're not going to get better. We're not. It's so insufferable. I shouldn't be seeing this stuff happen to my people. I shouldn't be seeing it happen to anybody. It shouldn't fucking be happening to anybody. A lot of the time, I feel like thank you, actually. I feel like it's insane because I can't get most people on both sides to hear me. Because on one side, everything's race, but you're not the class they're trying to cater to. They're specifically trying to cater to the open border and to the inner city. They'll acknowledge Native stuff when they want to use us as a token to try to basically defend the open border, even though we largely oppose it because of what's being done to us. And they treat us like we're this point that they can use to try to win this argument that we don't even fucking support. And it's repugnant to me. It really fucking is. And on the other side, there's other issues, and those are complex, and there's so much to unravel in that, and it's hard to unravel it. And most of us just want to exist. You got one side who really has their philosophy that there should be no borders, there should be no protection, there's all this stuff. And then you got one side that's trying to act like there's no racial problems in this country. And can we come together in the middle and acknowledge what's really happening? Because there's a lot of people suffering who are being thrown away for political expediency on both sides. And because you can't acknowledge the bad, it's like the people who are defending what happened to the tribes, defending genocide, defending Manifest Destiny, because they don't want to acknowledge that the foundation of this country was fucked up. They don't want to acknowledge the dark shit that happened in this nation's past, because somehow they think that that takes away from being patriotic for the good in this country now. And that to me is insane.
That is nuts.
And the really horrible thing in so many ways is that we are the smallest global racial group by not even a small percentage. Even if you count Native South Americans among Native American racial community, we are, depending on the way they calculate it and rate it, 2 to 5% of the global population. And that 5% is very generous and basically counting almost every Hispanic as Native because, well, they've got to have Native blood in them somewhere, basically, from the intermingling. It's like, well, you're really stretching to count them in this, aren't you? But, okay, let's say that's true. Even if it is, that's not the same thing as actually being Native people. But, okay, let's go there. Even if you put that aside, you say that's true, you agree with their hypothesis, we're still the smallest racial group. We still have the smallest numbers. And when it comes to the North American tribes, we are the smallest segment in the world of anything. And then you take that and you put us all into these stupid reservations, into this stupid regulation system that's already crippling us anyways. Living in places that are barren and we can't hardly function, we can't hardly produce food or do anything. And it's usually not because we're not trying. It's because it is so barren. It is so hostile. And there's so little resources. And then you tie our hands. You make it almost impossible for our police to do anything about violent criminals because the U.S. Supreme Court has decided that a jury of natives is not a jury of your peers. We don't count as the same. So you have to turn every criminal over to the FBI for them to be tried. And the FBI won't do anything and plays catch and release with them. So they know they can get away with it. So they target us more because they're less likely to have anything done to them about it. And it's insane. It's actually really insane that this is happening to this level and that there's so little being done about it. It is the craziest shit. And it's something I can't even explain how anybody could see this as possible or functional long term, or why this is allowed to happen. It makes no sense. So I rant a bit because I'm worried. I'm scared times, and I had somebody try to grab me before. I lost a cousin. I saw them grabbed and couldn't stop it as a child. I've lost people in my life to this epidemic. There's missing people in my hometown, in the town my mom lives in, and along the res where I grew up areas, the small towns along the outskirts of the res, all of it. There's missing people in every one of them that we know aren't coming back. And yet, most of the time, if I talk about this, if I bring this up, most of the time I'm accused of trying to play victim and use racial things to get benefits. It's like, no, we have to address this. This is an actual problem, and it is epidemic levels. It's numbers that are the worst in the world for this. Can we just acknowledge that? It's okay to acknowledge the negative. I'm pretty sure we can survive it, in fact. What kills me? It's so disingenuous, the situation that they've created. It's so disingenuous. And this is why so many of us are so disconnected on both sides.
Listening.
I don't know. I don't know how to get people to understand what this is. Yeah. For everyone to stand up, for people to put petty differences aside and really hear each other. The same people who screamed and read and threw tantrums and called out James Cameron for his stupid anti-Lakota statements. And he said very racist things about my people. I'm not going to deny how fucking racist Cameron was to my people in his statements about the Lakota. Because he was. But the same people who were protesting that, throwing a fit about that, calling him all these things, saying never see his movies, all this shit. Dead fucking silent every time I tried to bring up to them what was happening at Grand Gateway. For those who don't know, maybe I can pull a little of this up here a second. Because this is still going on, by the way. A lot of this stuff is well documented. So let's get into this. Because I know it's Daily Beast, but this one they're actually telling the truth on this is happening. They're a fucking joke of a site, but this is real.
Broken clock syndrome. Yeah.
The Department of Justice is going through this with Grand Gateway Hotel. Connie Urick, I call her urine for a reason, but anyway, I'll go there. Urea. I call her that. I know it's not how you pronounce it. Would have nothing to do with it. Yeah, but bullshit. This is a woman. Okay, so this is a lawsuit finally alleged against this group for running this hotel and stuff for what they did. This is what started it. Then owner Connie made a series of social media posts claiming that due to a recent killing at the hotel, by the way, a native man was murdered in what is believed to have been a racial attack on him in their hotel. Their response to it was to go public and say, we'll not allow any natives on our property because you can't tell a good one from a bad one.
Oh, hell no.
They blamed the victim and then tried to racially ban people. That's where this started.
And what year was this?
22.
Yeah. You would have learned something the past 80-some years.
It gets worse. When she's called out by this, she was caught multiple times on video doing this and saying this and denying people access to the business. Protests broke out on the sidewalk in front of the hotel. These protests were peaceful, they were legal, they were permitted, and they were not on their property. She was arrested for going out on the sidewalk and spraying cleaning chemicals in their faces on video.
That's major assault. Yeah.
Mm. That's one hotel I won't stay at.
Mm-hmm.
They own a good portion of businesses in Rapid City, including Outback Steakhouse and several other major restaurants, franchises also. They own that hotel. They own several small businesses. There's all kinds of shit. And this was happening in Rapid City, which is where I spent the majority of my teenage years and part of my childhood. My family is from the Black Hills. I grew up in the Black Hills. I am Lakota. The people protesting this were not just my tribe, but some of the ones helping organize it and run the protest were my fucking brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, damn.
My dad, got to touch on this a little bit before we lost him, had a very, very basic viewpoint of this entire situation. Good, I'm glad they unmasked themselves. I hope they fucking rot for it. They have repeatedly been caught committing criminal actions against natives, refusing access, other stuff. This hotel, when this started, was actually considered to be one of the most high-end in the city. They were pulling in anywhere from 120 to 400 a night for their rooms, even in the off-season. When I had to book hotels for my family in Rapid City last summer, while we were dealing with several events, and I was looking up hotel prices, they were selling out their rooms for $17 a night during tourist season. And still not being able to book the rooms. People have had enough. They're still doing this shit. They're still running all this stuff. They're still trying to use every loophole to get away with it. There are multiple charges against them for assault, for basic civil rights violations, for firing people for finding out they're native and other shit. This is still happening.
Mm-hmm.
One of the sons, the reason why she's listed as former owner, it's not fully finished yet. One of the sons actually sued her for the shit she was doing. And she lost partial control of some of the businesses. Yeah, this is bad. This is a major civil rights battle. That's still currently happening. How much do you hear about this anywhere? I reported on this, and every post I posted on it got shadow banned and hidden. To the point where I couldn't even search my own feed for the comments and posts and have them show up for months. And then I had somebody try to use this event to me to support BLM shit and play racial games. And when I called him out on that, tried to tell me to stay in my lane, it's like, bitch, this is my fucking lane. You're trying to use my culture, my tribe, and what's happening to my family for your bullshit.
Yeah.
You stay in your lane, you fucking bitch. This has been going on, and I've called this out. I've done multiple streams on it over the last few years. This is not new. This has been going on for 2 years. This has been going on a little over 2 years since just before I lost Dad. It is insane.
Mhm.
And honestly, if any business had done this much to deny service to or mistreat, abuse, or physically assault blacks in the inner cities, do you think they'd still be open?
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Do you? There's so much wrong with this story, and there's so much you barely scratched the surface on. And like I said, I don't really believe in forced service laws, and if it was just we don't like you, we don't want to serve you,
Yeah.
I would say fine, let's nobody give them business, but I'm not going to ask for them to be shut down. But when it comes to having fired people from their businesses, finding out they're native, when it comes to all these other shit, when it comes to assaulting people for protesting their business, no, there's no leeway. Fucking arrest them and shut them down. Shut the whole fucking thing down at this point, because they are violating human rights left and right. This is still going on. Every time I bring it up, it's crickets. Nobody says a word. Nobody fucking does a thing. I have played multiple videos of the owner and her sons doing this shit on camera to crickets. Nobody says a fucking thing. Nobody cares. The same people who were pissed off because of James Cameron couldn't be bothered to go down to the protest about an actual civil rights battle. But they could be bothered to set up these big social media stint protests at James Cameron's place out in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Because they wanted fucking fame. And because they wanted to go to Hollywood. Not because they fucking give a shit about natives. If they were so worried about what he said about Lakota, how about going down to the res and actually fucking doing something to help people?
After the photo op.
Disingenuous bullshit from a bunch of white parents who want to get attention and think that they can speak for and over minorities. And it's fucking ridiculous.
They're all a bunch of guilty white liberals.
None of them actually cared about real Native issues, or they would have done something. The multiple times they did their bitch fest on Cameron, and I posted the links to the shit happening in Grand Gateway with video and evidence to them, to crickets. No response. Didn't fucking care. Weren't involved. Didn't want to get involved. Didn't want to help. Says all you need to know about this situation in a nutshell. They don't give a fuck about minorities. Enough is enough. I don't care about your virtue signal. We're not your fucking little tokens to collect. I don't fucking need you. And if you're not going to care about the actual issues, then go fucking shove it up your backside.
Yep.
Every single one of you. When the moment anyone says anything pro-America, you start throwing around stolen land, conquered land. Go fuck yourselves. You realize that we're patriots. You realize we love our country. You realize that most of us are not in favor of trying to strip people from the homes they've bought and owned and done to try to restore land at this point. What we want is some control back of the lands that we can still help run and maintain. What we want is more access to our holy land. We don't want to take people from their homes. We don't want all this shit you guys are pushing. We don't support the extremist bullshit you guys are trying to push, claiming it's in our name. So how about you stop talking over us and start talking to us? Just a thought?
Okay, I think I found the scene I was looking for.
So I'm ranting a little bit because this is one that fucking hell, what is it going to take for these people to acknowledge what's actually happening?
I'm just digging through a copy of I Will Fight No More Forever. TV movie long time ago, about Chief Joseph and the Nez Perce. Highly recommend it. Track it down if you got, it's a kind of a must see in this one.
Exactly.
Mhm.
They don't fucking care. They
No.
don't know the actual issues.
Mhm.
They go to whichever one will get them the most fame, the most views, the most hits on their channel. They're literally trying to wear us like tokens while actually helping keep the oppressive cycle going. It's the same thing with the shit they do with BLM in the inner city. They don't give a shit about the people affected by the gang violence. They don't give a shit about the people affected by the way Planned Parenthood has targeted blacks and minorities. And they have, and there's a reason why well over 90% of their facilities are in the 13% of black communities in this country. Do you think that's an accident?
It's going according to Margaret Sanger's plan.
Her uncle was one of the founders of the Klan. She keynote speaker at several of their events.
Huh?
Yes.
Oh, she was a rampant eugenicist. She spoke at Klan rallies.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Okay. I read a bunch of the books that she actually wrote. One of whom, she actually has this chart in it that defines the levels of humanity and criminal behavior based on race, social status, religious status, stuff like that, and literally lists most minorities below dogs on this chart.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You put this chart in with an interview she did with Mike Wallace, where she literally, in this chart, defined that you're basically predisposed to being a criminal naturally if you're a minority, and then goes on an interview with him and says that bringing a child into the world who's more likely to be criminal should be considered a worse crime than murder. Put 2 and 2 together.
It's fairly recently, I think it was what civil rights group stopped giving out the Margaret Sanger Award for something or other.
It's really, really easy to track what she thought. There was literally one of her books, and I really wish I could remember the name right now. I'll have to go through the stuff I have, because I actually have a lot of these twisted books. I have books written by a certain chancellor. I have stuff Sanger wrote. I have the stuff from Tammy and Jim Baker and stuff. I research them. So I know what I'm calling out and what happened and how these people won people over. Because you can't fight something if you're ignorant to it. One of her books, she actually talks about having this dream where the children that were killed by her clinics visited her in her sleep. And she defined this as, they were thanking me for helping kill them before they had such a miserable existence as their race.
Yeah, the hell they were. They're saying, you're going to be ours soon, bitch.
I mean, literally, she defined it as these children were thanking her for helping kill them because of their race. I mean, the most psycho, insane shit. And try to remember that there's a certain person who's run for president who listed her specifically as her hero.
Huh?
Not to get into names, but she has a tendency to make things disappear. Yeah. So when you put these things together, when somebody says that I've researched deeply this person's past and she's one of my icons, you've researched deeply that person's past, you know exactly what she was.
Yeah.
If you've read her books, you know exactly what she fucking was. So if you call her one of your icons, holy fuck, I consider you a threat to all minorities.
Yeah, why don't you throw in Joseph Mengele in there too?
Try not to actually say names because some of those will flag the algorithm.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Or a few of the backers of the final solution,
Yeah. So this is, again, this is more political than I usually go, but this is actually because I'm calling out a very specific thing. Yeah. And this is something that's embedded itself in both parties right now. There are subsects of that. Early American progressive, which is what she called herself, which is what Sanger was part of, which was the basis for a lot of what became the eugenicist movement. That's deeply embedded itself in both. That's deeply embedded itself in both parties at this point. And that was intentional. Read all of their literature from the 1800s when that movement was founded. Guess where? In Wisconsin, Madison. That's where it was officially started. Researched everything they've done and said since then, since the 1800s when that started. And they always said the point was to embed both sides of the system with different social political movements that made sense, that had legitimate points, and then twist people by using those to change their viewpoints. That was always their plan. There was something that Alinsky and Coward and Piven based their shit on, and that was because they were the new generation of that. That's always been the tactic. And yeah, it is heavily embedded in both sides at this point. There's so much shit I can point out that both sides have done that ties to this, that it is actually really scary. It's really crazy. There's reasons why I have this absolute detestment and why I don't usually talk politics. And I don't know why I've decided to today, but fuck it, I guess I'm going there. It's toxic. It is in danger, and it was intentional. They are intentionally trying to manipulate and steal hearts and minds to turn people against themselves. LBJ and what he said was going to happen and why he pushed the welfare state. We can't use that word on air. He said he's going to get these blankers to vote Democrat for the next 100 years. He said he was intentionally trying to make them dependent on the state and breed the criminal behavior within them.
And what didn't help is Barry Goldwater voted against the Civil Rights Act. He thought his argument was that states' rights issue should be handled, but for the time.
On that, I have problems with that too.
Yeah.
The whole the Civil Rights Act was not pushed by the Democrats. That's some weird historical rewrite. But
no, they fought against it.
Look, civil rights and basic human rights never should have been a states' rights thing, because states' rights ends when they're violating your basic constitutional rights. I absolutely believe that. And there's still a lot of people who seem to think that states' rights should be able to override constitutional, and you should be able to do things the Constitution bans. It's like, no, you shouldn't.
It's like,
no. Bullshit. I'll call bullshit. And both sides do that, where they say, well, the state can do it. If you don't like it, go to a different state. It's like, no, fuck you. You don't have a right to strip my rights.
No argument there.
So, and both sides can fuck off with that one, because I've seen both sides do it. But this is where it's insane. I've been involved in the system. I've been involved in the political side. I've worked in caucuses. I've worked in campaign stuff. I've been involved with speeches and get-togethers on both sides. I've met pretty much every fucker in Washington. I do not have a good opinion of either side for a lot of reasons. And most of even the ones that come off good, when you get behind closed doors and you're at those events, easy sons of bitches, all of them. They disenfranchised me so bad to the system. That ain't changing. I've seen too much to believe anything they say anymore. And that's their fault. That's entirely their fault. That's on them. They're the ones who pushed all this shit. That's completely on them.
Yep, she's on a tear.
All right.
And I know Bob doesn't agree with me on all of it.
No, we had a big old blowout the other day in DMs on certain things. But
that wasn't so much a blowout. I was just trying to explain to you a few of my positions.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think that. Not arguing the points, but it's like that the system we're stuck with, that got to work it or nothing happens.
See, I don't believe
before we can change it.
I absolutely believe if we keep trying to work with the system and go with the lesser of evils, we're just going to keep going further down this slope. Because that's what both sides keep doing is, well, this is the lesser of evils. We don't want the other side. It's like,
you leave it at that. Yeah.
And you keep getting worse each time they do it. And it keeps getting more extreme each time they do it. And I believe that that's what got us into this situation. So I understand why people feel that way. And that's why I don't discount how you feel and how a lot of people feel on that. But the only way it's going to change is if that attitude goes away and we mass rebel against this bullshit and really push against the two parties. Yeah. And unfortunately, I don't see that happening. I absolutely believe we're going to collapse. Yeah. And I don't think there's a way around it.
In the meantime, okay.
That's why I've tried to share positive on my
Mhm.
channel because
Yeah.
I do think we're going to collapse eventually,
Mhm.
and B, I just want to make a positive difference and get a few people to see each other more human and try to work with each other more in the time that I have.
Mm.
Not that I think that we can stave off the cliff that we've gone into, but that I really believe that maybe we can at least make a difference and help each other. That's where I want to be. That maybe at least get to a point where it's not as bad
Mhm.
and we can fix the issues faster
Mhm.
and get to a solution quicker.
Yeah. Anyway, I got this one scene here, and I'm not going to play the clip because we'll probably get the thing copyright struck immediately, or at least claimed. Save it for off stream. The scene between James Whitmore and Sam Elliott, talking about what the general thinks it's happened in 100 years. And said, "No, General, that's not going to happen."
I think when we get off stream, we should probably watch Tale of Two Brains.
Hmm.
It's a little bit lengthy, but it's funny, and it definitely it actually did help me and my mom understand our husbands better.
Yeah.
Don't forget you have stuff to do tonight.
I'm well aware of that, but I'm not having to drive anywhere, so I can take as long as I want with that. I already got the lion's share of it done anyway. We got an inspection tomorrow, so I got trash to haul out.
Take care, Pluto.
All right.
So it's like it's just I get frustrated because I really think genuinely, as a culture, as a society, we are so fucking lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I will wrap up the stream. I have stripped my voice as hell anyways because I'm still sick, and this started because some fucker decided to cross a line really badly.
You mean that whole thing with Hikari?
Yeah.
Yeah, that idiocy.
And right now in, let's see, a few hours since I commented on that fucker trying to fetishize autism. By the way, if you look through the comments on that, he's not just trying to fetishize autistic people. He directly stole somebody else's artwork, even though it says directly on their page not to use my artwork or repost it without consent. And she's actually calling him out in the post saying, "Fuck you."
God.
I made a comment to him. Oh my God, almost 150 likes on it in a couple hours.
The artist is calling him out, or what?
Yes, the artist is. Do I see?
By all means.
Yes.
Let's do this as an end to this.
Because that's the kind of
show.
thing that because she reports his ass like you just about you got to get your channel bounced. Oh yeah.
This whole thing trying to fetishize autistic people there. Let's sexualize autism. Right here. Scroll down. Scroll down. Hey, I drew this. I don't approve of folks re-uploading my art, so I'd appreciate you delete this. Here's the link to the post in October 2nd, 2022. Oops. Go to the page. It says right here, don't edit, republish my art. Which, by the way, that is legally binding. That's been upheld by courts. If you say that, people are not supposed to touch it.
At the very least, it's excuse for him to report that whoever the jackass for doing it. And it's like, hey.
So yes, to be clear, the artist is calling this person out.
Okay, the screensaver just came on the laptop in there.
So yeah, let's fucking go there. So I just commented, you're using stolen art to try to fetishize autism. Yikes. Yikes, shut up. And the lights on that are like going up in real time watching this, by the way. It was at 140 when I scrolled down to show you the artist. It's already at 145.
Let's see.
This is yikes. This is so cringed out as fuck. It is creepy. And the characters rant about how underrated Dreamcast was and how cutting edge they were and stuff. By the way, I fucking love this rant and I agree with it.
Mm-hmm.
That the Dreamcast should have gotten more acclaim than it did, and it was under advertised and all that. I agree. I have fucking talked about this in details. Okay, I love the art piece. I'm actually kind of livid that somebody would misuse it like this for something so gross.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually fucking love that. I love it. That is awesome. Because yeah.
Anyway, honey.
Because you can't just take somebody's art and repost it. And when you publicly share your art, if you say that this is privately created, if you need consent of the artist to use it, that is legally binding. That means if somebody is sharing it or republishing it without your consent, you can have legal action slapped against them. Same as if you had a website and you shared your art and somebody was swiping it off of there and sharing it to websites. Also, the fact that this person did not credit this person but tried to make it look like it was their own art is also a really damning piece. Because you it's one thing to share somebody else's art and say, this is the artist, I love this, check it out. It's another when you're trying to take credit for something. That's the same reason why a lot of artists use watermarks, to try to discourage theft like this. And it's what it is. It is theft. So it's a complicated issue, but yeah.
Now I'm putting a reply here to the original thing about Mom's 4 seconds. You realize you can get your account banned for this stunt? Yeah. That should get her attention. Or something, whatever, you know.
Can you get some light on in here?
All right, hold on here. Enforce it by the art, because the artist, hey, this is my artwork. They could just report the thing. Hey, they're using my artwork without permission.
But that truth is, you can't just repost people's art without crediting the artist.
Especially the artist that, hey, nail him.
If the person had said, this is an art piece I found from this artist, I like it, then it's harder to enforce something like that. But because they didn't credit the artist and they tried to make it look more like it's their own work, that crosses into so many lines of art theft and plagiarism. It's not even funny. And that's where it can get much more enforceable.
When are you going to serve the burgers?
When we're through with this.
Yes and no. There are actually some clauses in laws where people are specifically saying this art is only to be shared by and put up by me. Unfortunately, that is actually illegal standing. Just like people have a right to tell people when they're going to their businesses or their art galleries not to take photos or to share the information. It crosses lines, and I have issues on both sides of the argument, but it's been legally upheld by the courts multiple times. So while I'm not always in agreement with that, it has been upheld before. Yay! 150 likes.
All right.
In the couple minutes I'm talking about this, I just went up 10 likes.
Ay, ay, ay.
Well, again, if it's been stated by the artist, don't use my art without permission, then that's, you know.
Yeah, that crosses really heavily into issues.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You
And look,
don't say
like I
George,
said-
like, do you have permission to use this?
Look, I said, I'm torn on some of those things and how easily you can have art shut down for being reshared.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like I said, places have been upheld. If you're an art gallery, if you're an artist website, if you're an art site, you have rights to put blockers on it so people can't easily access your art. You have right to say that you can't share this on other sites. It's like, as repugnant as that stupid OnlyFans model was, she actually did have a legitimate point about people sharing her stuff without consent.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I didn't feel so bad for her is because she's also the one who said that video game artists aren't real artists and they shouldn't be offended if people are stealing their artwork and stuff like that. And then was upset people were stealing her stuff and sharing it. It's like, karma's a bitch.
Yeah. Sucks to be you sometimes. No?
You literally created this monster because the people were doing that because you were mocking them having their art stolen. So as much as she was right about calling out what they were doing to her, she created that monster herself.
It's a bit fuzzy, but in this case, this particular case, though, the artist has stated, don't use my art without permission. I mean, most times you post something on if you're not claiming it's yours, no one's going to care that much.
Honestly,
in this case,
if somebody posts their artwork on social media, quote tweet it or share it through their link, or actually put full credits on it and tag the artist.
Mm-hmm.
That should be the general standard for everybody.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't be using the artwork without crediting the artist ever.
Yeah.
And if you don't know who the artist is, say, I don't know who did this. Can somebody help me find out?
Nothing in this case, probably changing the context of the intent of the artwork in the first place.
Yeah. What's about finding love as somebody autistic in this society? And they're trying to turn it into, let's sexualize and fetishize autistic people. It's like,
yeah,
that's really crossing a line.
Mm-hmm.
Several lines.
It's probably why I got the attention of the artist. Say, hey, you're not allowed to use this.
It's so creepy. It really is so creepy.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's creepy to me on a lot of levels. I'm already up to almost 160 likes on that comment. It's like going up in real time in front of me. I'm actually watching it tick up every few seconds as I'm looking at the screen.
Damn.
That's kind of fun, and
it's always kind of fun when you watch people find your comment and go, yes.
And I got a like on my response, and you realize you can get your account banned for this stunt.
So generally speaking, yeah, just be reasonable. I mean, it's the same thing. If I was sharing stuff you did with your comics, I wouldn't be picking it up and just sharing it. I wouldn't be picking it up and going, look at this, or picking up and adding context to it and basically trying to make it sound like it's something that I might have created, which the way that was kind of phrased does make it sound that way. I would be going, look at this artwork from this person, check them out. And to a degree, I have a problem. Look, it's one thing when we call out things, we highlight a page from a comic or something and go, this is weird, this is creepy, why'd they say this? This was in this comic. We're still at least saying where it came from. I've seen some of these things with even in our own community where people are like sharing artwork from other people's work and they're not saying where they got it from or what it is. It's like, no, that comes off wrong. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Even if it's not meant that way, you're not crediting the artist.
Yeah.
We should always try to credit the artist. At least I try to be consistent. Generally speaking.
Yeah. Especially with something like that, where it's a piece of comic art and it's taken out of the context of whatever the surrounding story is.
Yeah, although a lot of those comic ones will make posts, will take a little clip out of the book and whatever. I mean, there's a certain book I have that came from subsect within the comic community that's now been kind of drummed out for a reason. And yeah, some of the stuff in the book kind of crossed creepy to me looking in it. It kind of set off certain parts of me when I read it, and they didn't give you any idea this was kind of shit they're putting in this book when they published it. And I'm reading it and I'm creeped out. And it's like, no. Okay, I'm done. Look, I mean, if you'd said openly that this book's going to delve into very specific dark topics, I'm okay with that. But they didn't. They didn't promote it as an adult book. And they sold quite a few copies of it to people that were younger. And it had some of that stuff. And I'm like, no. Fucking label it. Tell people the truth.
Yeah.
This isn't, kids shouldn't buy this. Don't give this to kids. All that stuff should be disclosed. No. But then again, those are the same guys who went around trying to convince everybody that me and Piper are the new milkshake girls.
What?
Yeah. Apparently, the only reason we're popular to the community is because we've got big jugs.
I mean,
don't get me wrong; it doesn't hurt.
It's not a detriment. No, it's a definite bonus. But
And considering that in most guys,
And
the
again,
brain is a lot further south.
well, again, we'll just getting back to the thing of how simple we are. We don't even need to see them for actually see them. Just knowing they're there is enough. Yeah.
I mean, I'm in a dark green velvet dress in a kind of blackened greenish room.
Yeah.
It blends into the background. I almost look like a floating head here.
Yeah.
But yeah, how many guys are going, I know what she's got right there.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm on stream enough where you can see them, that the guys are still going to go, I know they're there.
Yeah.
She's got
Because most guys think with their dicks.
It's like strip clubs or the base, not even really that far. Just we just love attention type of thing, and appreciate certain things.
I remember at strip clubs, you only get to touch if the stripper invites you to.
Yeah.
You try to touch without the stripper inviting you to, and you get things broken by bouncers.
Oh, you'll be surprised how fast they can get a guy out of a thing.
You'd be surprised how many injuries they can do on the guy while they do it.
Yeah. I've kind of
no, they take that extremely serious.
Oh God, yeah. You don't hurt the girls. You don't.
Now, if the girls walk over to the edge of the stage and start going, "Okay, touch me here," stuff like that. Oh yeah, there's no problem.
Yeah. But you try and reach out and take a sample, and these guys come out of nowhere, and before you even realize anything's happened, I'm like, "What the fuck happened? Did I miss something?" Yeah.
Because there's certain lines where you got to wait for permission. I feel it the same way with the art. Get the artist's permission, wait for permission, or at least credit the artist. Now, see, look, I've shared things from artists. When I share a meme and I don't know who made it, I say it is a stolen meme. I credit that I didn't create it. I do jokes with it. I've literally had people go, "You didn't make that," when I posted memes with the caption, "Stolen meme of the night."
Yeah.
And they literally go, "You didn't make that." It's like, no, I have no idea who fucking did it. It was all over the internet.
Do you read?
But at least I tried to make sure people know I didn't make this, you know?
Yeah, when I post memes, it's always usually a reposting of somebody else.
And most of what you do is the private, the group chat anyway. Oh. Like I said, social media gave everyone a voice. Unfortunately, it gave everyone a voice.
You mean like the idiot that's actually trying to defend him?
Yeah. Like, people think, I have something important to say. No, you don't. Sorry. You don't even have a coherent thought, and yet you're talking.
Wow.
Badly. Yeah. So sometimes you just got to go back and think, please shut the fuck up and go away. Stoney's thing about the...
It's definitely time to end this and watch A Tale of Two Brains, because my brain's starting to hurt. I'm starting to cough more. So, crap, I am actually starting to sound more hoarse. All right, time to end the stream, guys.
All right.